Do you ever have one of those days where you just cannot get ahead of anything? Well, I'm having one of those days. And this is the afternoon. My kitchen counters are jammed up. We did not put away the dishes from this morning. We've emptied the dishwasher. So the dishwasher is empty and ready to be refilled. Again, my youngest son, that's his chore in the morning. But it just didn't flow the way it usually does. So now I've got a messy kitchen, and I turned on the camera because I haven't filmed in a long time, and I wanted to share this with you because I felt a little stuck and I was kind of in a defeatist mood where I was putting myself down and I really needed to get started. So as I was standing there trying to figure out where to start, I just decided to do it clockwise. I picked the farthest corner and literally pointed and spun myself around to be able to get myself going. Like, I'm going to start here and then I'm going to go all the way around and I'm going to end. I visualized what I was going to do to tackle the mess. It was pretty manageable about 10 minutes before I turned on this camera today. It was just the left side where we queue up our dirty dishes. And then I had cleaned out the fridge of all just leftover food that just shouldn't be eaten anymore, and I had piled it on the right side of the sink. And all of a sudden, I had just lost available counter space, and I felt overwhelmed, and I started criticizing myself for not putting the dirty dishes into the dishwasher. It was just one of those days. And sometimes you got to just take a step back and be like, I'm having a day and I can tackle it. I can do it. And all told, it took maybe 45 minutes to do it properly, because once I cleared the counter of the dirty dishes, I still had dirty dishes on the other side that I had to take care of. I also needed to put away everything that was in the drying rack, and clear off the counter, the center island. My goal here was to be able to clear off all the counters and clean them off, but also to make stuff for dinner. I was putting some chicken into the Instant Pot with some taco seasoning and was going to make just the chicken part for fajitas or tacos for dinner. And that was my goal, but I couldn't even visualize myself doing that because the mess was just too much. I couldn't just push things aside and get dinner ready. I just wanted it back to rights. So in this video, after not filming for 2 or 3 months, you're seeing just a regular day in my life. For the last year or so, I have been trying to figure out what to do with this YouTube channel. Nearly 6 years ago, I only had 90 subscribers, and I was posting content about homeschool. That's just where my heart was, what I was sharing, what I needed from YouTube, I was giving back to YouTube. And then one of my videos, I was sharing about feeling stuck about decluttering decisions and not knowing how to get rid of stuff. And that went viral, and it has more than 250,000 views now, 6 years later. And the content was very relatable for thousands and thousands of people that have too much stuff and I don't know what to do with it. I don't know how to part with it. I don't know how to declutter it. I don't know how to let it go. If I choose to let it go, where do I give it? Who do I give it to? Where do I take it to? How do I donate it? I don't want to trash it. And those decisions were very difficult for me 6 years ago. And I shared that, and I was very vulnerable in that. And then so many people, tens of thousands of people related to that feeling. And I felt safe in this community. And so I shared more and decluttered more and really started on my own path of figuring out what I wanted our home to feel like, why I wanted to get rid of stuff, and started to dig into the decision-making behind purchasing and the decision-making behind decluttering on my own path, and shared that on YouTube. And there were periods of time, years, where I was sharing 3 videos a week because I was in a groove and I was really ready to get rid of stuff. And so I would often share all of that process and talk through it out loud. And that helped me so much with letting go of things. And now at this point in our life, the things that we own, I'm really comfortable with the amount of things. I'm okay with how our home is. I don't feel overwhelmed all day, every day anymore. I just don't have that feeling anymore. Decluttering has become a natural part of my daily life, where if I'm doing laundry and I know a kid doesn't like a shirt that's in the basket, I donate it. Where, I'm naturally cultivating and culling all of the spaces in our home. Just as small miniature decisions throughout the day and moving stuff around and organizing it and trying new systems. And a lot of that some of it has been shared on YouTube, but not all of it. And I really wasn't sure what I wanted to share on this channel anymore. So I'm filming my everyday life here. What you're looking at right here is my cookbook shelf. And you just watched me take a basket from my coffee table. I'm moving stuff around my house and trying it in new locations and giving things a different purpose. And I wasn't sure if that was something would be worthwhile to share on YouTube. So I'm trying it out. Let me know in the comments if this works for you. You see my 3 blue cookbooks that kind of complement my counter. What my goal here is, I just don't like that the cords are here for charging everybody's phones. This has been the natural spot time and time again. I keep trying to change it to a different spot, but everyone keeps coming back to this spot, to my charger, my Anchor charger. It's a fast charger. Everybody keeps coming back to this spot to charge their phones. So I'm leaning into this as the natural spot in the Lucas household where we charge phones. But I wanted it to be more than just a cord sitting on the counter, because the habit of taking the cord and putting it in the drawer, it just isn't there. And so I'm leaning into this spot. Besides, somebody's phone is always plugged in here. So actually unplugging this and putting it away in a drawer doesn't really seem practical. So I'm using what I have to try to turn the spot into an intentional spot that maybe like cozies up the kitchen for the fall and just looks like it's on purpose. And oh, by the way, it's where we charge our phones. This kind of content is different than what I've historically shared for the last 6 years. This is more just like what's going on in my life, sharing real life messes and how I deal with them. Some videos I think I would probably just talk through. Like if I redo my pantry organization, I would just turn it on and talk to you at the same time. Some videos would have to be a voiceover like this one, because when the kids are home, trying to figure out the noise balance is just too difficult in the editing process. So I just turn the camera on and then I do a voiceover later that day about all the thoughts that were in my head that I didn't share when the camera was on because of the background noise. And that's the kind of style of video that's a fit for my life now that the kids are older. And now that we've decluttered thousands of things, and it's just about living every day with the stuff that we have and making small decluttering decisions throughout the day, dealing with stuff, dealing with organization, and just, living in our home. And so I think that's the kind of videos that I will be sharing from this point forward on this channel, at least trying them out. We'll see how it works out. If you have been here with me through the years, I would love to hear from you in a comment or an email, whichever way you feel comfortable, about this shift of content. I've been thinking about this for a long time because I didn't want to start filming and decluttering for the sake of a video. It was beginning to feel like something that I had to force myself to do, like find a decluttering project in my house so that I could film and share content with you. But that's just not a fit for my life anymore. We're not minimalists. We don't really just live with the bare minimum, although I experimented with that for a while. We just have stuff. We're a family of 5, and we just have stuff. And it's just a lot less stuff than it used to be. 4 years ago, when I was at the height of what I was doing, 3 videos a week, I was really understanding the philosophy of living with less, and had a lot to talk about and had a lot of decisions that I was making. It was very easy to film for me. And I had mentioned to my brother at the time how I wasn't sure how I was going to sustain it in the long term. Like, how am I going to do this for years and years? And he said, at some point, you're just ready to film your real life, and people will connect to that as well. And people grow and ebb, and anybody who needs your videos from the past will use those for decluttering help. And anybody who can connect to your life the way it is now will watch now. And he said, it just share what's on your heart and just share your real life, because people want to see the mess. People want to know that it's normal to have a mess and how to get out of it. And it's okay to have dirty dishes on your counter because you can tackle it. You can do it. And some days it's easy to tackle, and some days it feels hard to tackle. And all of that is normal. And in this crazy world right now where everything is so stressful, it's easy to feel overwhelmed the way our world is. And it's easy to feel overwhelmed when your house is out of order. And I still feel that now. And I get plagued by not imposter syndrome, but just should I be still overwhelmed by stuff here 6 years later after making all these decisions and learning all these lessons? And the answer is yes. And it took me a long time to get to that yes, where yes, it's okay to still feel overwhelmed by clutter and overwhelmed by stuff, because families change. And my kids now, 6 years later, are way different than they were then. I'm different now, 6 years later. It's a lot easier for me to deal with stuff now. I feel better equipped to put myself through the questions or steer myself out of a mess or to make decisions that help me live with less. It's a lot easier now. And so I think going forward, that's just what I'm going to be sharing and just capturing in my life, because I'm having a hard time finding time to film where it's related specifically to decluttering. And I'm having a hard time finding a way to film outside of our real life, because my focus is my family, and I will have moments like this every week that I can film where I'm just doing my regular thing, and I can turn the camera on for that and find a voiceover for it later that day in the afternoon about all the thoughts that were running through my head. So that's where I'm at. And maybe I'm over complicating it, as I like to do with most anything, is overthink it. But I just wanted to come back on here after these last few months of just thinking things through and sharing with you, because over these years, absolutely have built friendships with you, and I treasure them, and I treasure our community and how connected you guys are to each other and how supportive and kind everyone has always been to me and to each other in the comments over the years. And I think it's just pretty phenomenal that we have this community where we're not judging each other, and we're making it safe to have stuff, to struggle with stuff, and to support each other in letting go or keeping things as needed. This time of year, September, October, November, I always have this complicated relationship with stuff because I am obsessed with fall and winter and Christmas decor. I love it so much. September through December, I go above and beyond. So this tray that I'm spinning and trying to figure out what to do with, I break it out for October. It is a Halloween tray, a Halloween spin tray for food or whatever. And I have a little mug that I only use in October. And I have stuff that's only for November, and then all of my Christmas decorations. And I'll tell you what, I have decluttered a lot from those seasons, but I have kept a lot from those seasons as well. And I've bought new stuff over the last couple of years because these things bring me joy. I absolutely love Halloween decorations, Thanksgiving decorations, and Christmas decorations. I just love it. And that's a lesson that I had to learn through several years of decluttering, that it's okay to keep stuff that makes you happy. It's okay that it sits in a bin for 11 months of the year in your basement. It's not that big of a deal. If you have the space and you're okay with it, then do it. It doesn't have to be a decision where if I only use it one of 12 months, is it worthwhile of keeping? That's not the question I ask myself anymore. The question I ask myself now is, do I use it, need it, love it, want it? If the answer is yes, then yes, I find a way to do that. My ultimate goal today was to get the chicken ready for dinner. So I got out the Instant Pot. Everything was put away and the counter was clean. And I just tossed 4 chicken breasts into the Instant Pot covered with taco seasoning and put a little water in the bottom and cook it for 15 minutes on manual in the Instant Pot. And then I put it in the KitchenAid mixer and just give it like a spin for a minute, and it shreds it down nicely. And you can use it for tacos, burritos, burrito bowls, wraps, whatever. Even cold, it turns out pretty good. I'm not in love with the way that this looks. I know I want to do something. I think I just have to live with it for a day, maybe a taller basket or something. But I just need to put it into use and then see what I want to add to it in this area. I don't know, maybe a decorative bowl. I don't know. But this is how the kitchen has come out, and it's good enough for what I needed done today. This is our kitchen table now. We used to have a smaller white table with 3 chairs here that served as the breakfast table. It's now in the basement, and the chairs are over at the kids' desks. And this table I scored for free from our neighborhood Facebook group. A lady wanted to get rid of it. She was getting a new table delivered. She wanted it out of her house. So sold, went and got it, and it works out pretty great for us. It is a 4-seater. We are a family of 5, but what we use the kitchen table for are breakfast and lunch, and that's usually just me and the kids. So it works out okay. They also will sometimes do their schoolwork here. We play a lot of board games here also. So that it's a 4-seater doesn't matter. It also has a leaf, and we can drag over a chair and make the table wider as well. So it's a great table for what we paid for it, which was $0. And this area this week, this just yesterday and today, became a dumping ground because the kitchen counters were full. So then we started dumping onto the table, and I wanted to get it back to the way that it usually is. And usually it's just the table, the placemats that protect the table from any hot plates or bowls, and then our bowl in the center. Well, honestly, it always has card games now. It used to hold apples, but the last several months it's held card games. And we play here every single day as part of our mornings, especially with my 8-year-old. We play a lot of card games. And so I just leaned into it and let the card games be right here in the middle, the ones that we play all the time. I know you don't. That's a 3+ person game. Moose Match Mayhem. Also, I think you need at least 3 players for that one. A couple of decks of cards because we play this game Speed. They love. This is a game my son invented. And this is 10 Fish. And then Zombie Run. These are all the ones that we are playing all the time right now. So I just let them live where we play them. It made more sense. And the apples are in the pantry, and that works for us. So this is what I'm talking about, just sharing our regular life. My kitchen feels mostly put back together, so I'm going to call it a day, and thank you for being here and sharing part of your day with me today. I hope you're doing well, and here's another video for you. Take care.